And welcome to another RSG Lunch Stream. And when the Ranger is away, the Finity will play. So I am taking over the stream today. Welcome one and all. This is the RSG Lunch Hour, where we are here to entertain you during your lunch hour. And I'm joined by your usual favorite cast of crew. And first off, we have Mr. Grim the Mechanic. Say hi, Grim.
Porg.
Well, Ranger's away. Haha. Haha. Now we can say Porg all we want. And speaking of that, you hear the giggle of Miss Dana Descent. Porg, Dana.
Porg.
Porg. Oh God, we are.
Porg.
Ranger's never gonna let me stream again. Oh well, Porg it is.
Porg.
And then we have the Sith Lord with the baby Sith himself, Mr. Xylo Takedown.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
How was the Jedi baby?
He's sleeping right now. He's gonna be up soon.
Oh, so then he's gonna force poop all over you, right?
Everywhere.
Good. So, welcome, guys. We're gonna do our usual stuff today. So we're gonna start off with our roster review and then jump into some news of the day. I was having some issues this morning with work and whatnot, so I'm a little delayed. We'll get the news articles up kind of as we go along. I have one of them up, but I'll add more. So let's go ahead and start with I should get all the bot and everything set up, shouldn't I? All these things that I normally do. Hooray! Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're looking at the roster of L. Kitty Kelly, who is in the guild. A guild has no name, GOTW. So shout out to a guild has no name, GOTW. And
it's a cool name.
Yes. And of course, he's told us what he wants us to review. And mainly it is ships. He puts ships and exclamation points when he told me what he wanted. And I assume it's a he, so I apologize if it's a she. But looking for a review of ships primarily, and then advice on whether or not should continue with Jedi or start with bounty hunters for the next faction. So kind of looking for the next direction. Currently farming Scion and crew from Cantina. So Scion and then crew from Cantina. And feels kind of all over the place in terms of focus and needs some general direction. So let's go ahead and look right now. It's a 2.9 GP roster, right? And so
she corrected him, said it's a she.
It's a she. So I apologize.
Yep.
I apologize. It's a she. And I'm sure that's her in the chat. So there we go.
Laurie Kelly is
yes.
The one.
There we go. I stand corrected. I blame Finn. So we're going to go ahead and look at her roster then. And first thing we'll do is look at ships, and then we'll go through the characters.
Yeah, since she's in chat with us, I'd like to post a question for her. What fleet composition are you currently running? That'll help us help you a little bit better.
Definitely. And I moved that, so let me fix that here. And then I gotta lock this because I forgot to lock it. I'm an idiot. There we go. Now it's locked, so I can actually do the scroll bar. Ha 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 ha! I can do scroll bar. Okay, so we're looking at what? God, I'm not right in the head. Okay, so we have the different ships that we're looking at, and looking at some of the key ones, right? We have TIE Advanced at 7-star with a Gear 12 Vader. So I think we're looking at the TIE Advanced being in the starting lineup. Biggs, however, is 7-star, but Biggs himself is not highly geared. So she said she's running Ghost, Vader, and Phantom. I can say I don't like that as a starting lineup.
That's an interesting starting.
And what capital ship? I'm assuming, or at least hoping, that one is probably a home one. But the Chimera's probably better. But I don't like that as a starting lineup. So in general, right? When you're going the route of ships, it is really important that you have a tank off the bat. If you have 3 ships, TIE Advanced, really powerful, really good attacker. Problem is, TIE Advanced is pretty squishy. If you leave it exposed, it's going to die very quickly. And TIE Advanced is kind of the target lock king. Phantom is a good ship. Potentially as a starter, I can see it as a good ship too. The problem
She said Chimera.
yeah, you're running Chimera, so it really provides no benefit. And Phantom also has one of the best reinforcement abilities in the game, which is that it reduces the cooldown. I have to go to the actual ship, and I know that's going to cause some issues. So it actually reduces the cooldown of your reinforcement, and then you can bring in another ship. So Phantom is better off the bench, but can be a starting lineup. Ghost is definitely a reinforcement. And that's primarily because the way Ghost works, it makes it so. Let me see if I can do this correctly, because the way my system is set up is a little different than Ranger, so it's hard for me to switch back and forth. So let me do this really quick. So I'll use this screen in order to go to the actual ship abilities and see if I can get that to work. There we go. Okay. So the Phantom, the reinforcement ability, so when you get it maxed out, it reduces the call of reinforcement to by 1, which basically means the next turn it comes in. And then if we look at Ghost is a good combination with Phantom, but what makes Ghost really good is the reinforcement, which is that when it comes in, it inflicts target lock on enemies who suffer the critical chance down, and he inflicts critical chance down on all enemies. Hopefully. That part can be resisted, the target lock can't. And so, as a result, Ghost is definitely a ship you want to bring off the bench. Phantom is one you can potentially have starting, works out a little bit better in the starting lineup. So based on what you have as ships, I know you said, and she said that she's clueless as ships and her bigs is horrible. It's perfectly fine. We all got to start somewhere, right? So
yeah,
I would say start working on your bigs. I want to look at her before we go in. Let me look at her arena. She's running a Bastila lead and getting rank 82. So I'm assuming that you're hitting like a Treya wall somewhere around that time period, because 2.9 million, you're probably a pretty older shard at that point. And so I'm assuming that you're hitting Treyas, and that's part of your struggle with rising in arena. If that's the case, then what you want to be doing is working on bigs. And part of that is also because bigs and wedge end up being the danger zone counter to Treya teams. You can use them on offense, more so in territory wars, but danger zone, which is basically wedge lead with bigs, ends up being a really strong team that you can bring in against Treya teams if you don't have a team that can otherwise beat it. And we'll look at your arena team and everything here in a second. But in looking at her ships, besides Ty Vance being really good and kind of refocusing her lineup, Grim, Dana, Xylo, do you guys see anything else in particular before we start going through and trying to figure out the best ship lineup for her?
Well, I'm noticing that it does have 5 level 15 mods on her pilots, which is a good thing.
Good.
For
yeah.
Yeah, I can see with this is an interesting composition for fleet. It's making me go.
There's no tank, is right.
Yeah.
The no tank makes it very difficult to figure out how exactly to move forward.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The ships she's using are good ships.
Yeah.
Just not quite in that starting position.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got 7-star Slave 1.
Yeah. And
she's
on the right track for sure. I mean, she's working. One good thing I like seeing is that she has like 7-star of all of the ships, minus just a couple, right? Sith Fighter isn't, Houndstooth, the new Lando, and she's 6-star on First Order SF TIE Fighter. So she's been keeping up. Oh, and TIE Silencer, but she said she's working on Cruise, so she'll finish that soon too. So, I mean, she pretty much has all of the ships at 7-star, which gives her a little bit more leeway, right, to work on different things. Oh, and I see a 6-star Kylo Ren's command shuttle. But I mean, having that puts you at a really good starting point. So, what I would suggest. Go ahead.
Oh, go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll chime in when you're done.
No, I mean, you can say. Well, we're going to go around the corner a little bit and see what we think is a starting lineup. But
Even though her bigs needs a little bit of work, it's still at a point to where it is viable. I mean, he is definitely one of the best tanks in the game for ships. Currently, at the way she has it set up, he's got 68,000 health and almost 50,000 protection. And you don't really want bigs going fast, do you?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can't really do much with his speed anyway, so...
Like, she can get away with using them right now.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, mechanic-wise, do you want to talk about why Biggs is good with survival, Xylo? Why he's a good tank and how he kind of survives?
Just the target locking mechanic and, like, putting other crew members around him that can, generate that target lock. And like you were saying, for an example, with Ghost, when Ghost comes off the bench and, like, say they have, like, 2 or 3 pieces up on the other side, it's a good way for them to not only get that target lock spread onto the whole team, and you get all that protection back on Biggs too. So that's a really good combination.
Yep.
And if I could chime in on anything else too, I completely agree with, like, the lineup that we're going for. And long term, how they have been giving out more shards for the bugs and the geo ships and everything. You're going to want to work on the geos long term too as well.
Yeah, for sure. And she has those 7-star too, which is awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, they're way worth the investment too. You're going to benefit a lot out of that too. I mean, I love running the bugs.
I mean, other than gearing up some characters that are pilots, I mean, she's got access to a lot of potential here.
Yeah.
She can pretty much run anything she wants, should she decide to gear up the pilots for him.
Yep.
I agree. I
So-
was just looking at...
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just saying I agree with you guys, and I was just looking at her bigs. If she gives him a little more gear, I think he's that's what I use, and that's what I think you guys helped me with too, was my lineup. And I had bigs in there, but I didn't have the right combination of ships. And then once you told me which ships to use, and then the order in which to target them, like having calling Vader's ship to do the target locks, it really, really helped me out.
Right. Yeah, so as Xylo explained, right, the mechanic behind Biggs is the fact that when you get target locks, he recovers protection. And so when we're looking at your ships and trying to figure out what to do in terms of a starting lineup, so if we start there, we want your Biggs in the starting lineup because he is your best tank currently, and definitely TIE Advance, because TIE Advance on his basic gets a guaranteed target lock. So those are your starting 2. Your next one, usually there's one of 2 ships, and I think for you, one of them stands out a little bit better, and it's either First Order TIE Fighter or Imperial TIE Fighter. For your situation, I would say First Order TIE Fighter is a little bit better. And we'll go around and see if you guys agree. The reason I'm saying First Order TIE Fighter is because First Order TIE Fighter is a little bit faster. You have a little bit better gear on First Order TIE Fighter. Imperial TIE Fighter does a lot with trying to survive between taking a few hits. He's not a really tanky ship, but what he does is have a 30% chance of evasion. And the evasion actually helps him. It's 30% now, right? I think it's 30%. I forget what it is after the change, honestly. But it's a chance to evade. That's less than it was before Ships 2.0. And it allows for additional survivability of that ship. Both of them can do target lock. But for you, because First Order TIE Fighter is a little bit faster, and because Imperial TIE Fighter is a little bit weaker, I would say First Order TIE Fighter is better in your lineup to try and get a target lock off early. So, do you guys agree, or would you go with Imperial TIE Fighter? Or is there a different ship altogether you were thinking?
No, either one of those. I'm just taking a look at them. He's First Order TIE Fighters geared up more, so probably be okay for now, and then maybe work on getting Imperial TIE Fighter in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because in my arena shard, I'm seeing more First Order TIE Fighter pilots than the Imperial TIE, especially since the change for 2.0. Like, the evasion, like Finn was saying, was basically cut in half. So you're really noticing that difference now. And then there's more survivability to it, the first order, because he has the protection, obviously. And if he's higher geared, give it a shot, and it's more target lock and survivability for bigs.
Right.
So yeah, I'd play it a little bit different there. It really, for me, it would depend on the capital ship I decided to use.
Let's assume Chimera.
There's
Chimera
a little
is definitely
added,
her most advanced one.
Yeah, there's an added bonus to using Imperial TIE Fighter. He does gain foresight, and that is a guaranteed dodge that will fuel your capital ship.
Very much true.
Every time Imperial TIE Fighter dodges, your capital ship is going to be going over and over and over.
Right.
It seems like he's not dodging as much, though, right?
TIE Fighter, not as much as he used to, but he still dodges a lot.
Yeah, and it's more on defense too. Yeah,
is a really good ship, but I usually only use him when I'm using like Home One or Mesa's ship. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm okay with either. The main reason, and I agree with you, I think overall Imperial TIE Fighter is the better one for the reasons you're saying, Grim. My only concern is that the TIE Fighter pilot itself is too weak. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you would be able to, with just a couple of hits, take it out, because the dodge is a lot lower, right? And the first couple turns, you're probably using the basic in order to try and get target lock, because the first round, you're definitely using the basic in order to try and hit a target lock. And the second round, chances are Biggs has taken a bit of damage, and so you're trying to recover protection. And I don't know if Imperial TIE Fighter, at the current level of gear, will survive long enough. That's my main concern. I think Imperial TIE is definitely the better ship, but I'm worried about the survival of the ship right now. So, I mean, you can go either way. If you're going to work on one to gear, I would say work on the Imperial TIE Fighter, unless you're working on like a First Order team, and then you definitely get more benefit out of First Order TIE Fighter. But the regular TIE Fighter and his ship, I think, are a little bit better. Not by a lot, but it is a little bit better for the reason Grim said. So those would be kind of your starting lineup. Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, since she has both relatively decently geared, she can try either one and see which one she likes the most.
Definitely.
Play towards your play style, what you enjoy the most.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, it's all about your play style and which one you like better, right?
Yeah. And then, coming in off the bench, I know you've worked on your Phoenix a little bit, and you probably want to use them. I'm not sure if they're going to be, even for you right now, the best reinforcements. And part of that is because your Biggs is a little bit weaker. And so what you may want to do as a result to kind of cover for that in the short term is work on a bit of a more tankier lineup in your reinforcements to protect some of your more damage dealing ships like your TIE Advanced and your First Order TIE Fighter. And so for your reinforcements, the ones that I would think work really well for you, based on what you have, the first one would be Umbaran, because Umbaran can come in and do his special and get you a target lock. So that heals up your Biggs, and he's a really tanky ship. The next one is Sunfac. And Sunfac comes in with a stun, and then you can use his special in order to stun a second ship if you target correctly. And so that would be another ship. The other one would be Slave 1. Again, a tanky ship. It does counterattacks with target lock. Your Biggs may not be alive by the time your Slave 1 comes in, but again, it's a really tanky ship. Even with your current gear level, I think it's tanky enough for you. And
the bonus of Slave 1 is he comes in with the taunt.
Yes, and he comes in with the taunt, yeah, which is so much fun. And
yeah.
And then lastly, I think I would go with an offensive ship to help you clear, which would be Poe Dameron's ship. And Poe Dameron, because you get the automatic hit that can take out any kind of opposing Imperial TIE Fighter. So I think those would be my four. A potential, runner-up ship for you would be Scimitar. but I don't think Scimitar works into your lineup very well because your Biggs is weak. Like, part of that is you need the survival of the ship in order for Scimitar to really make an impact. And I don't think I don't think your ships are quite ready yet for that. So I would just go with straight tank ships: Umbaran, Slave One, Sunfac, and then Poe. What do you
I'd
think?
like to add a little bit onto that one there. That I agree with your lineup. That is a really good lineup, but I'll add a little bit onto there. You could sub out one of those for maybe your TIE Reaper, which she has 7-starred and decently geared. Or if you're having issues taking people out, or you're finding that your ships are taking too much damage, you might want to slot Plo Koon in there. Because when he reinforces, he heals everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ships 2.0 made Plo Koon's ship really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus he's one of the fastest ships in the game too, and that healing bonus is probably the best heal in the game as a crew membership, anyways.
And she has the ship 7-starred level 85.
Yeah, but the pilot needs work. He's blue gear level 70. so that definitely needs work.
Let me look at my Plo Koon real quick because I play around with mine here and there for territory wars, and let me see what here.
One of the nice things about him though is he's easy to gear too.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Let me see
I think she's still in the chat. So does that make sense? What we're kind of telling you there, Lori? So basically, we're focusing on particular ships. They're also characters that will help you kind of throughout the game, right? So these aren't just non-useful characters.
Plo Koon, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still like Plo Koon, and Jedi Master Adastra loves him under a Bastila lead. And so she does have a Bastila. Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
to talk to her.
I mean, Boba Fett is a good one. Fives is a good character. Biggs is a good character. Sunfac, Poe. I mean, these are all characters you want to kind of work on in your lineup anyways. So it kind of keeps you in a focus a little bit. I know you wanted us to look at your roster, so we'll do that next here. But let us know if you have any questions with regards to the ships or anything we just said. And I think, Dana, you were going to say something?
Oh, no. Nope, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure. We're on the interwebs talking,
Thanks.
so it's hard sometimes to see.
I will say porg.
Porg.
So,
okay. So.
Porg.
Porg.
Okay, so next thing we'll look at her characters, and we saw that her rank is she's hitting top 100 right now, which is good. So we're going to be looking for a potential lineup for her to go farther up. She wrote that she is trying to avoid the Traya teams. Bastila is not a good team to go up with against a Traya lead. So first question is, are you doing Heroic Sith? And if so, how close are you to Traya? Because that makes a difference. But what else do you notice?
Potentially, what about, going back to like using multiple teams and, using a trade team or something to climb around some of the earlier trade teams or danger zone for some of the earlier trade teams to get around that and then put Bastila back on defense.
Mm-hmm. But she would definitely have to work on her danger zone because her wedge, I think, is like gear 7. Her Biggs is gear 8, something like that. So
I have a way
so that's motivation for arena ships, yeah.
Right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Mods. She's got some amazing mods, but they're not on her arena team.
Okay, let's go to her mods and take a look. So we're going straight to speed secondaries, and I see you have a 19 speed on Logray, and that makes me cry. I'm just straight up crying. Oh my god, you have a 5-dot crit avoidance arrow with 16 speed. Oh my god, you make me cry. Okay, you have really good mods.
Yeah, I thought I had a good one. That's nice.
Yeah, that one is really nice. That's like one of the mods that I'm chasing, by the way. A high speed secondary on a crit avoidance arrow, and you just happen to have one that's 16 speed. I'm obviously going higher and higher as much as possible, but yeah, that one makes me happy. Okay, so yeah, so she said she's 30 shards away from
crazy in chat. Going, oh my god. That is one of the hardest arrows.
She says, "Oh crap! Don't look at my mods." Yes, we are looking at your mods even more now. Okay. So, So your mods are really what's going to make a difference for you more than anything else right now. Even with the team you have. So I do know of people on my arena shard, and maybe you guys do too, that can beat Treya teams with Bastila teams, but it does require heavy modding and having really, really good mods on their squad. So it's not impossible. They're not the best matchup for it, but you can beat Treya teams with that lineup. And that's particularly because of Grandmaster Yoda, who just does like crazy amounts of regular damage. And he can burn through Treya. And Treya's the key to kind of destroy that team. So let's look at her. Let's start off with her team first and figure out where to go from there. Like what team she should start off with now, given the fact that she is going to get Treya shortly, right? So if we keep that in consideration, I think we would all agree that we want to start out with her Sith. Would that be fair?
Oh, how far away did she say she
30
was from?
30 shards.
Oh, nice.
So she's probably about 3 weeks away, and I hope that you're farming the mods.
Look at her Sith.
Or you're farming all the gear and stuff. So I hope that you've done that, if nothing else. Make sure you have all of the gear ready in order to take her straight to gear 11 with 2 Zetas, hopefully. Even if you have 1, that's fine. At least 1, but hopefully 2 Zetas for her as soon as you unlock her. If you haven't started, start saving for that.
Oh, she is more than prepared. Look at her Sith, man.
Yeah, so I'm looking at her Sith right now.
All
So she has...
I can see on there would be to work on Sith Trooper a little bit if she is able to.
Yeah. And you could potentially do the team without Sith Trooper too, so it's you have a really good lineup.
Oh, wow.
So,
I'm jealous.
Yeah. So I think with her lineup, she might be able to beat Treya teams without it. Now, it's not the easiest thing, but you can beat Treya lineups with Emperor Palpatine. And the overall squad, Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus, and Thrawn. And so those are the characters we'll probably focus on now. And I'll kind of show you now that I kind of have the screen. And I'm going to try to do something here in order to... It's going to be really, really sloppy, just so you know. It's going to be sloppy handwriting. I'm going to see if I can use my... See if this works. Because I got this this whiteboard thing that I think allows me to type, like, to write on things. Let me see. Yay! Look, I'm writing on the screen. Okay.
Thank you.
God, I'm going to have way too much fun with this. Okay, so one thing we want to do is go through your roster and make sure that we know exactly how you want to mod your roster. And part of that is making sure you understand how to maximize speed. With your lineup, you're looking at Thrawn being your fastest, with probably Vader being your next fastest, because you're going to be trying to turn meter swap initially with Nihilus in order to do turn meter reduction or cooldown reduction, and then just start laying on the dots with Vader. So you want to have a faster Thrawn than Vader in order to do that, because most opposing Treyas are not running that. There is a little aspect of needing good mods, and you do have those, and that's because if the opposing person has like an Enfys and their Enfys goes first, then you might reach into some issues where Enfys is doing an AoE and reducing your turn meter, and then you can kind of start getting screwed from there. So, other potential you have is to substitute Han Solo for Vader in that situation and stun Enfys and kind of do your own thing.
Yeah, but that's one of the bonuses of using Thrawn. If you're going up against a team that does have Nest, you will be able to remove that daze from at least one of your characters, which helps a lot.
So what we'll do right now is, and I'm going to do it on the screen, so I think this is the first time I'm doing this, so you're a special one here. So it's to show you kind of how to go through your mods and actually figure out how to optimize your speed. And I'm going to draw the little diagram that I always use, and hopefully you can see it. I'm going to try and use a color that stands out here on the screen. So... There we go.
Okay, Finn. Remember, in English.
I know, I'm trying. Leave me alone. Okay. So, let me see. Okay, so it shows up when I do that. Good. So I'm trying here. So what you're doing is you're drawing 2 little diagrams like this. And Let me get rid of that. There we go. So whiteboard. And so what these represent are the 6 mods in 2 different sets. One of them you're going to do is for speed, and one of them you're going to do for non-speed. And they're representing the different mods when you look at them on your character. So this one is your square, this one is your arrow, this one is your diamond, this one is your triangle, this one is your circle, and this one is your cross. Okay? And so you're kind of setting it up that way when you're looking through your mods. And so when we look at yours, what we're going to do is do speed set first and then non-speed. So when we go to your filters for your mods, we're going to look at your square first, we're going to look at speed set, and then we're going to look at speed secondaries and try to figure out what your best speed is. And so your best speed is a 12. So I'm going to go back to the whiteboard here, and I'm going to put it's 12 speed, and it's on BB8. And I'm trying to write with my mouse, so it's very confusing. So hopefully you guys can read this. There we go. Okay, so you got the square, and it's BB8. Next one, we're going to go to your arrow, and I'm making sure arrows you don't typically have to do, but I want to see how many speed arrows you have. And see, you only have 6 of them, or 5 of them, which is just enough for like a full arena squad. So one thing you do want to work on is more speed set 5-dot arrows with speed primary. Okay, so just something that you can work on and just get more of. You definitely want more of these mods, but you do have 5 of them, which can be enough for a arena team depending on what team you're running. And for you, this one we're doing on Thrawn, so you don't really necessarily need any particular stats on him. Thrawn, you can just kind of make him so he doesn't have to be super tanky, but you do want him to be kind of tanky. I think a good one might be the one on Jin. So I'm just going to go to the whiteboard, put 30 speed, and Jin. There we go. Okay, and then we go to see Jin. Okay, and then we're gonna go to your diamond and go back to speed secondary instead of primary because the arrow is primary. And then we look, and your fastest one is a 12 speed on Grandmaster Yoda. So I'm putting a 12 speed on Grandmaster Yoda. Haha. Then we get to the triangle, and if we look at the triangle, okay, so then Le Triangle has a 14 speed that you have on Hermit Yoda. And definitely you want to work on some more of these. You go from 14 to 5, so your speed set on your triangles are a little bit low. So those are like another thing. Just looking as we go through this, little things that you can work on. Okay, and then so I'm going to try and go through this a little bit faster as we go through this, and because you can follow along here and see what I'm doing. But then we go to the circle. Your circle is a 13 on R2, and then we're looking at your cross, and when we look at your cross, it is a 10 on BB8. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do on everything besides speed. So I'm going to unclick speed and then click on everything else. Hooray! Vormax, leave me alone! I'm trying to draw with a mouse and making fun of me for a 6-year-old. Okay, so we have 19 on Logray. And then we have...
I'm just playing along. You lost me when you drew the crosses.
Hey! Shut up. Okay, so we have the 12 that's on, and I think that's 5s, right? Yeah, it's 5s. I can't tell the difference between 5s and echoes. It's freaking... Right. Okay, then we go...
they are clones.
Yeah, I know, and they're damn good at confusing me. Okay, then we have 15 speed that you have on a couple of characters. We can go with more protection since he does recovery, and we'll put the one on Barris. Then we have the diamond. Are you enjoying my drawing, Lori? Hopefully it makes sense. Hideous, I know this isn't how you play tic-tac-toe. God damn it. You all are awful. Okay, then you have an 18 on Poe, and then we have the square, and the square one is your fastest is a 15 on Princess Leia. So what you do after this point is you have these two diagrams that you drew with the numbers, and then you're going to basically subtract each square based on the value, right? So I'm looking at the top left, and what I'm going to do here is the 12 from BB-8 minus the 15 from Princess Leia, and so what I'm putting in this box is the -3. I'm pretty sure you have 30 of each of for the arrows, so 30 minus 30 puts a 0 in the arrow spot. For the diamond, it ends up being 12 minus 18, so you have -6. For the triangle, it's 14 minus 15, so you have -1. For the bottom left, the circle mod, you have 13 minus 12, so it's actually a +1. And then in the cross, you have 10 minus 19, so this one's going to be a -9. From there, you want to find your 4 highest values. So your 4 highest values are going to be your +1, your 0, your -1, and your -3. So why are we identifying those? Because a speed set requires a 4-piece bonus. And so what we're trying to find are the 4 pieces that provide you the least loss in speed. And so when you find these 4, you add them up, and in this case you get a -3. And what you're getting from this is that if I equip 4 speed sets instead of just my fastest secondaries, I will lose a total of 3 speed from my secondaries. Secondaries being the key, because what this doesn't include is the 10% you get from the set bonus. And for a maxed out Thrawn, that's going to be 15 speed. So even though you're losing 3 speed as a result of getting lower secondaries, you're equipping a speed set, so you're going to get +15. And so in total, you are going to gain 12 speed by equipping a speed set with slightly slower secondaries than if you did just your fastest speed secondaries.
Right, what he said.
Yeah. So in total, right, so now when you have these marked out, you can also figure out based on your notes where you're pulling the mods from. So you know that the -3 box right here is telling you you're going to do the speed set, and you've already identified that that mod is coming from BB-8. I'm just going to write B8 for now. I'll put the other B. Then the arrow we've identified is from Jin. The -6 is not from the speed set, so this one is going to come from here, which means you're going to get the diamond from Poe. You're going to get the triangle from your speed set, which is Hermit Yoda. And then you're going to get your circle from your speed set, which is R2. And then you're going to get your cross from your non-speed set, which is Logray. So in total, if you get these 6 mods and you put them on your Thrawn will have roughly, so let's see, it'll be 12 plus 30 plus 18 plus 14 plus 13 plus 19, and then you get your 15 bonus from speed, so plus 15. And I know Ouchie likes this sound because it makes it sound like I'm using a calculator, so let me get my little calculator up on my computer. And then I start clicking away. Hurry up and open calculator. Calculator, don't fail me now. Is the stream buffering?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, it's back now, I think.
No, it's still messed up. Hold on.
More, Captain! She's at full power!
Okay, I should be back. Okay, I think it's back now. Frickin' I open the calculator and it breaks the stream. It's awful. Awful. Okay. So, when you add up all your speeds, in total, your Thrawn will have a speed bonus set of 121 speed as a result of these. So he'll have plus 121. So this is what if you're really trying to focus on improving your mods, and this would be the first step in order to improve your arena. You'll want to do this kind of for each of the characters. And once they're on Thrawn, you'll just exclude Thrawn. So what you would do is if you go to your squads, and you'll be able to see mine here. As you mod characters, you create squads, right? And so these are all the characters that I've modded, and I'm in the process of just kind of remodding more. But you just mod them, and you add them to a squad. And when you go to your filters for your mods, I shouldn't have done that, by the way. Now I have to go back and bring it back. Okay. When you go to filters, there's the exclude squads, and it'll exclude all the squads that I've included characters on. So now you'll see, like, you don't see Enfys, you don't see Thrawn, you don't see Vader, Palpatine, like all the characters that I've modded. So only thing you see now are all of my, and I've switched it to speed secondaries, these are my fastest speed secondaries remaining on characters that I haven't equipped yet. So it reduces it, so now I can kind of go through everything. And yes, I know you're only seeing math.
This is why .gg is awesome.
Yes. And everyone's just complaining they're seeing math. Fine, I will stop with the math. I have control of the stream for one day. Let me do my math. God damn.
No, this is good info, man. The sometimes people wonder how you come up with all this stuff. Now you know.
All right, so I mean that's what you have.
And this is why we blame Finn.
Yes, this is why you blame me. It's my fault that we're doing math on a stream. So that's essentially what you have to do in order to, if you're going through and kind of manually doing your mods, that's what you want to focus on, and that's kind of the strategy for it. And so you just mod a character, you make sure that you go to your settings and sync, and you update, and then you put your character. So you'd mod Thrawn, you'd update, and then you add Thrawn to a squad. Now, of note, you can only update every 30 minutes, so you'll want to try and maybe do like 1 or 2 characters at a time. Or actually, I should say 2 or 3 characters at a time, and that should get you enough time in order to get to the 30 minutes and then refresh your GG page. I have to load her GG
For the record, Finn, they're actually thanking you for the math.
Oh.
Chat.
Okay, so they're trolling me and thanking me at the same time. That gives me the warm fuzzies and a stab in the heart at the same time. Hooray! Okay, so I brought up her roster again. Okay, and let's see. So we went over that, and then in terms of, we can look at her characters. Grim, where should she start focusing a little bit more? So she was asking about Jedi and bounty hunters potentially. She wants to know where she should focus. So what do you see when you look at her characters?
Well, let's see here. Let me pull up her Jedi here. I mean, does she want to stay with Jedi no, you said she was going to do, since she's close to Traya, she wants to do Traya for Arena, right?
Yeah, once you get to Traya, I mean, she'll be solid in Arena. Because you can run either Emperor Palpatine lead or Traya lead and work your way up pretty much through any team. So, I think she'd be good to switch.
Yeah, her Jedi look pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she definitely worked on her Bastila team. So she's set with that particular team.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some really nice Jedi so far. I mean, she's got
if it were me, I'd go to bounty hunters.
Let's just look at those.
Yeah, she said she recently switched to Jedi and ran JTR before. Okay. So now you're going to run Sith. That's your next team that you're running. Let's take a look at our Sith raid teams really quick, and then we can run into some news here and try to do as many questions as we can. So if we're looking at her Sith teams, does she have a Phase 1 team? Well, she ran Jedi.
She has the JTR team.
Yeah. Okay, so she's good on Phase 1. Phase 2, I can see a gold Wampa. So I'm pretty sure she's fine there. How is her Sabine? And she was working on the Phoenix ships too, so I'm sure. Yep, Gear 11 Sabine. So she's fine on Phase 2. Kind of just knocking each of those things out.
Let's see here. Chex Mix.
So I see CLS. I see Han at the top. Where's Chirrut? There's Chirrut, Gear 11. Death Trooper,
11,
Gear
yeah.
11. And where is Pow? Pow Pow. Pow Pow.
Gear 10, 7-star.
Okay, so she's fine on phase 3. You're making this kind of easy for us. You're
Night
like...
Sisters. I am
Night
jealous of
Sisters
her
need
roster,
some
man.
work.
She has everything that she needs. Okay, let's look at Night Sisters. Maybe she doesn't have Night Sisters.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Night
Work
Sisters.
on her Night Sisters.
There you go. We found a focus for you.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely work on your Night Sisters. I hope you're farming Night Sister Zombie Shard. You do want to get her to 7-star. And even if you're... Okay, good. She said I'm good except for phase 4. Yeah, we found it. We found it. We found the weakness. Haha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're fine where you are if you need to be. Zombie is one you want to work on, but you can use a weak initiate instead of zombie. It's slightly different in how you would use it. But you want to keep your initiate weak. So I wouldn't work on your initiate. I would work on your first 4. Asajj, Daka, Talzin, and Talia. And if you work on those...
She doesn't have any of their Zetas. Just for food for thought.
Yeah, and you need a Zeta on Asajj's lead. That being said, Zeta Treya first, because Arena is more important.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zeta Asajj's lead. Then you can Zeta Asajj's unique. And then you can Zeta Mother Talzin's unique as well. It's a 3 Zeta team minimally. You can do Daka's unique as well, but 2 things with that. 1, you need a zombie instead of an initiate if you're running that team. And 2, they're bringing a change to zombie probably by the end of September. They said they're going to refund Zetas on Daka. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be a time frame where they're refunding it. So let's say they're going to refund everything before their announcement, maybe, is what they're going to do, right? Versus when they do the change. I don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't announced it. So for now, I would stay off the Zeta on Daka. Because we don't know how the refund is going to be. We don't know what the change on zombie is going to be and how it's going to affect it. So for now, don't Zeta Daka, but I would focus on Talzin and Ventress after Treya.
Yeah, and even if they weren't going to change Daka's Zeta, it's not really needed.
Mm.
You know, it's one that's nice to have, but you don't really need it for that.
And Night Sisters is a good team everywhere in the game, too. It helps you in territory wars, both defense and offense, depending on where you are. And I think you're in a guild where it's probably more offensive. So it's a really good team to have for that. Just an overall very versatile squad.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, they're saying that mod diagram was legendary. I'll put it back on the screen. Haha.
Yeah, I told you, dude.
It was great.
Purple chicken scratch for the win. Okay. So, speaking of chicken scratch, let's go to things that happened in the news. And I'm going to try to bring these up as we go along. The first one...
you forgot to do the ending part for the roster review. You know, the we hope you help helped you. If you have any more questions, please get with us on Discord. There's always people in there to answer questions, and most of them are very knowledgeable.
There you go. I was ready to jump straight into the pineapple with cocaine, so that's... You see where my head is at right now. Math and pineapples with cocaine. Okay, so the first story, pineapples filled with 67 kilos of cocaine seized at market in Madrid. Cylinders of cocaine were tightly packed into pineapples, which were hollowed out and neatly sliced around the top. There's a picture.
Gosh.
I think it's gonna load here in a second. Yeah.
Wow.
So they basically like cut it out like right along the ridges, and then just stuff cocaine in there.
That's impressive.
Cocaine with a street value of 235 euros. Or 235,000 euros has been found hidden inside fresh pineapples by Spanish police. The 67-kilo haul was seized at Madrid's main wholesale fruit and vegetable market, Mecra World. Cylinders of the narcotic were neatly slotted into the hollowed-out fruit skin and covered with yellow wax to look like pineapple flesh. Oh my god, that's wax!
Wow.
Wow. Police said the wax was also used to conceal odors of the chemical product which drugs contain and avoid its detection. Officers described the pineapples as perfectly hollowed out and stuffed with compact cylinders, with each fruit containing 800 to 1,000 grams of cocaine. They had to examine them all individually, smashing open each suspect pineapple to reveal the stash. Dozens of fruit in the shipment, which had arrived at the Portuguese port of Setúbal from Costa Rica before being transported to Spain, contained the cylinders of cocaine. Oh my god.
Wow.
Do you think that with the
feel like
ones that didn't
for
have
that
cocaine,
much-
they made pina coladas?
Yeah, I was gonna
but-
say those probably make one hell of a pina colada. Wow.
For that someone that went through that much trouble, I feel like they should have gotten a pass. That should have been able to come through.
Oh my god,
I mean,
Lori.
that's
I mean,
innovative.
that's
right there.
dedication.
Lori Kelly
And
just
Laura-
donated $24.99 in the super chat. Well, thank you.
Aww.
It's much appreciated.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions, like Grim said, just hit us up on Discord. We can definitely help you out any more if you need. And no, Doja-san, we don't charge for our roster reviews. It was nice, we appreciate it, but I just want to make sure people don't think we're charging $25 a roster review. God. Okay. All right.
Well, at least you're not that famous enough yet.
Not yet.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's true.
What the hell?
It's not yet. Okay. Let me see if I can change this here.
But you gotta admit, that's some innovative thinking right there.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I found a way to load it without causing like everything to go away. Okay. So we have the next one, which is California man busted with 800 pounds of stolen lemons. A California sheriff office said deputies conducted a traffic stop, arrested a man found to be transporting 800 pounds of stolen lemons. The Riverside County Sheriff's Office said thermal station deputies assigned to the Southern Coachella Valley Community Services District Team, god damn, that's a long title, were investigating a string of recent agricultural thefts when they conducted the traffic stop on Friday. The sheriff's office said Los Angeles resident Dionisio Fierros, 69, was found to be transporting about 800 pounds of freshly picked lemons that had been illegally taken from a nearby farm. Fierros was booked into the Indio jail on a charge of theft of agricultural products. Wow. That's...
I wonder what his plan was with all the lemons. Lemonade stand. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
800
Black
pounds
market
of
lemons.
lemonade for sale. Black market
That's a lot of
lemonade. For
lemonade.
sale.
No, that was for the pineapples, for the pina coladas.
God. So yeah, between the first story and the second story, you get black market cocaine laced pina coladas. God. Oh my god. All right. Let's go to the next story. Let me get this link up. All right. Put that in there. All right, hurry up. You are being silly, computer.
A very side piece. When life gives you 800 pounds of lemons.
Okay, let me just open another one because this one isn't. Let's check again. Copy. Try it one more time.
That's interesting. Captain Obvious says people wholesale limes in downtown Los Angeles.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Okay.
Lemonade stands are illegal in California. Why am I not surprised?
They're illegal. Okay, so technically,
Everything's illegal in
lemonade stands are
California.
illegal everywhere. Yeah. Because you're conducting a business
Wonder.
without a permit, but only a-holes really like report it. But there have been stories about people reporting lemonade stands on the sidewalk and police having to come and shut it down. It's sad.
It really
maybe-
is.
California has found that ingredients in lemonade have been known to cause cancer in the state of California.
God. Okay.
Because we know, including breathing air in California, gives you cancer.
Well, yeah, nowadays everything does. Okay, so giraffe expertly photobombs wedding photos. So a curious giraffe made an unexpected appearance in the couple's wedding photos at a reserve in South Africa. Photographer Stephanie Norman posted a photo to Facebook showing the giraffe stooping for a closer look at the newlyweds, Luke and Tristan Crashigan. Norman said the giraffe wandered over while she was snapping photos of the happy couple at the Arena Riverside Resort. Getting cuddles from a giraffe on your wedding day is a pretty amazing experience, Norman wrote. She said the giraffe, which hung around for about 20 minutes, was gentle and nosy and an absolute pleasure to photograph.
That's cool.
If I can play.
You just got a dollar from the Space Monkey.
Oh, thank you, Space Monkey.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything.
Yes, thank you, Space Monkey.
Okay, I'm waiting for this ad to go so if we can see the pictures.
That's cool, though.
I don't like Pottery Barn. I'm afraid if I click on the ad or something, it's gonna like open it up and screw up the thing. It keeps on changing. I don't know why. It really does make me think like I like Pottery Barn. God.
They tell you what you like.
At least it's not something else. I can deal with it saying Pottery Barn. Okay, so here we go. Here's some of the pictures that are slowly coming up. Okay, we have the couple. This is their first picture. They're kissing. Okay, we see the picture of the photographer, or a photographer. There's a B-roll there. Then we got a scenic addition to their shoot in the Arena Riverside Resort. And there's the giraffe. God. It's just the giraffe. He's just like, I'm here. You can include me in the pictures.
What's up, guys?
Like bent his head down in order to get petted and everything.
Aww.
That is one spoiled giraffe. Who the hell spoiled a giraffe that much?
Aww.
Like, where did the giraffe come from? That all of a sudden it's like, okay, you know what? There's humans. I'm gonna go for it to pet me. It's like a cat. God. I have a stray cat outside that's just like this. It like just follows me around waiting to be petted. It's awful.
Aww.
Okay.
I did that when I was younger. We had a stray cat, and we kind of, like, we had this little outside barn thing, so I left food out for it. And then another one appeared, and so we left extra food, and then, I don't know what happened. They, like, multiplied overnight. We ended up with, like, 40 cats, and it was crazy. We had to, like, put signs up on the side of the road to give away free cats, and that was a long time ago, and I would never do that now because people are horrible.
Yeah.
And you don't give away animals for free because bad things happen. But
Yeah, that's true.
Dana's trouble with tribbles.
Wrong franchise. Okay, so
I know.
Snake slithers into
Still
Arkansas school, bites principal. A snake that turned up in an Arkansas second grade classroom ended up biting the principal, a former Arkansas State Parks employee. Lisa Graves, a second grade teacher at Hector Elementary School, said she picked up a curtain off the floor of her classroom and found a snake coiled in the corner. Graves sent her students to the classroom next door and informed the office that she needed help getting rid of a snake. Principal Cara Rohr, a former Arkansas State Parks employee, says she decided to put her wildlife experience to good use and capture the serpent herself. But the snake bit Rohr and lashed onto her thumb. What?
oh my gosh.
Rohr says she wasn't upset about the bite from the non-venomous serpent and had maintenance workers release it into the wild a safe distance from the school. A South Carolina school district had to close a classroom last fall when it became infested with snakes. Officials at War Shoals High School said the classroom was taken out of use when 5 snakes were found inside the room in a 10-day period. Part of me thinks that the high school one is a prank.
Wow.
Like the elementary school one, I can be like, you know what, maybe a snake just got in. But if a snake came in 5 out of 10 days in a week, I think it's a prank by those high schoolers.
Well, it would also depend on where it is. If it's like just a building by itself, a lot of times they just leave the doors open until class gets in.
No, once
So
you get one snake in, you
came
close
inside.
the freaking door.
Well. What are you doing? Do you live in a barn? Close the door.
God. Okay. Let's do one last. If I can get the link to show up. There we go. Okay, we'll do one last one here, and then we'll do a few questions. I know we're running a little long today. Okay, last one. All right. Woman gets out a paying parking fine by writing poem for local council about needing a poo. A woman has shared the hilarious way she managed to get out of paying for a parking fine. God. This may be my favorite story ever. Okay, so, there we go. We all know when you gotta go, you gotta go. But what you do when you're in desperate need of the toilet and parked on double yellow lines, some may choose to hold it and move the car. Others would go anyway and pray they don't get caught. One driver from Salisbury was in the exact predicament recently and unfortunately got caught by her council and hit with a fine after leaving her car on the yellow lines. Jane Parsons was loading up her car with baked goods to sell at a local horse show when she was struck with an upset stomach. The 53-year-old dashed to the bathroom and found a ticket waiting for her when she returned. However, a stroke of creativity has helped her dodge the fine. In a letter to the council, she penned a poem about needing a poo to explain why she left her car on the road. All right.
Gosh.
Okay, are we ready for the poem? Jane wrote, I get a nervous turn. For the toilet I had to run. And with not a moment to lose, I made it indoor to release my poos.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Wiltshire Council responded with its own poem, signing off with, on this occasion we are pleased to say you do not have to pay.
Wow.
Oh, she had her full poem here. Okay, so let me read the full poem. So the driver's full poem reads, Dear Sir, or to whom it may concern, a parking fine I did earn. I was parked outside my house on yellow lines, intending to move and dodge your fines. But on Sunday I was loading my car with foods and cakes for a horse show not far. But these events, I get a nervous turn. For the toilet I had to run. And with not a moment to lose, I made it indoors to release my poos. I couldn't move until all was done, but when I returned, the fine was done. I thought it better was be discreet and leave the car parked in the street. Next time I'll move and not be a pain, but if I get caught short, I'll in the drain. My God.
Creativity. Such creativity.
I'm glad the council had a sense of humor, but holy crap, that's...
Oh, keep reading.
Yeah, so then she received this response from the council. The penalty charge notice was correctly issued as the vehicle was parked... stupid Flo. Was parked in... Move, Flo! Why is Flo... Freaking... Go away! Freaking Flo... Okay. The penalty charge was
Are you sure you don't want insurance?
Apparently. The penalty charge notice was correctly issued as the vehicle was parked in a restricted street during prescribed hours. In this instance, the restriction is clearly indicated by double yellow lines which are in effect all the time. However, in considering people's circumstances, the council is often led song and dances. It's difficult to know the truth, and quite often we would ask for proof. But the photographs the officer has taken shows that indeed you had been baking. These cakes had been loaded in your Land Rover. On a double yellow lines, it was parked over. So on this occasion, we are pleased to say the council accept your appeal. You do not have to pay.
That's awesome.
That's wild. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's just awesome. Oh my God. Okay.
I got out of a speeding ticket once. I was on my way home from work and I was working at the hospital as a nurse, and I had to pee so bad. I was flying home and I got stopped, and the guy, and I explained what was going on. I said I was just coming off of like a 15-hour shift and I had to pee really bad, and the guy let me go because he said that he would never want to be caught in an emergency and need a nurse, and have me be like, "Oh, you're the one that gave me a
Oh, yeah,
speeding."
that guy.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Hey, I remember you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You were the one I ticketed for having to go pee. Oh, I need you to look at my finger.
You're gonna have to wait. Back to the line.
Oh God. Okay, I'm trying to bring up the
You need
questions here.
Out? Okay.
All right, I'm trying to see. Oh my God, I think we're back.
Are we back?
I think it's with the black screen, but I think we're back. Oh my God. This is what happened when I don't feed the porg that run my computer.
Oh. Wait, why aren't you feeding porgs?
I was feeding them, and then I thought I gave them enough food, but one of them ate everything, and the other one got scared.
Oh.
So I had to feed the other porg. That 10-inch porg is causing all kinds of issues.
They're saying black screen.
Yeah,
You know,
I know
in
it's
the
black screen. You can hear us. I'm working on it, and the black screen is expected because I'm trying to get something up there for you
Yeah.
guys. Give me a second.
You know, and in the beginning, there was darkness.
And then afterwards, there was still darkness. So yeah, have fun with that.
You know, and on the first day, Finn created porgs, and it was good.
Okay, let's see. Where's the image? I think I have the image here. There it is. Okay, there we go. Hurry up and load. I put you on the screen. Everything is going so slow.
Hashtag get an SS.
No, hashtag restart your computer. God damn it. I normally restart my computer overnight, but I had too much stuff going on this morning. I didn't restart it, and all kinds of awful things to reckon. I think it's frozen again and not... Something is eating everything up. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Virus scan, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to shut off.
Eating your bandwidth, or
No, it's my computer processor. Something is working, and I don't know what it is. I kind of closed everything, so I don't think there's anything... There shouldn't be anything running in the background. Okay, there you go. That's the image that you're getting now. God damn. Enjoy it. That's-
Captain Obvious. Toasters and computers are different things. You can't fool us.
Yeah, I know. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we'll answer questions, and in the meantime, I'm going to try and get everything up. Hold on, let me get the questions for you guys, because I have the questions here. Okay, so first question. Okay, so questions from Chewy. He says, question, how do you feel about going nerdy no longer being game changer? I've seen questions on this. I guess CG removed a bunch of game changers. I haven't been following that at all, honestly.
I have a question.
Oh God, Ranger's here to mock me.
Oh my gosh.
Why can't you just do a simple stream, Finn?
I did it for the first hour. We're just going along, and then I caused problems.
Right.
I blame Finn.
You know, I'm trying to sit here, get caught up on all my work and homework, and I'm working on my project, and I decided to let me just check to see how Finn's doing.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when you go away. I did math, I was drawing on the stream, and then I opened the calculator and the stream exploded.
Yeah, I was watching all that, head in the background, listening to it, and I'm like, okay, they're doing it, and they fail.
Yeah.
Finn failed.
Yeah, it was kind of a fail.
Yeah, lack
My
of
whole computer
vision.
decided to restart on me. It was like, Windows Update needs to go now, and like froze my computer. I'm like, damn it. They're so awful.
Yeah.
I just asked for one day,
It was
Finn.
like,
I just
it was
asked
like-
for one day.
That was one day too many. You should have known better.
yeah, it was pretty much like Bill Gates said, no stream for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is... Okay. Alright, so Did you guys hear though about the game? I haven't. I didn't even hear about it until you
I
guys.
I heard about going
about
nerdy. I
this.
didn't know there's a whole bunch of them.
I don't
that
know. There
were-
was somebody else that mentioned about all of like CG removing a bunch of game changers. I've seen only questions so far about going nerdy. I don't know if there were more. Right? There was a comment by somebody saying they removed a bunch of game changers. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, that was me. I heard about going nerdy, and there was talk going on about possibly other game changers being removed. So I don't know the full story. I need to do some research as soon as the stream's over. But yeah, going nerdy is no longer a game changer.
Did you give a reason why? Has anybody watched the video? I haven't had a chance. I'm sitting here working on my.
I haven't had a chance to.
school and was getting some homework and stuff done.
Nathaniel Morgan said they said Smithy D in Discord, but it's not confirmed. I don't know. Like I said, I
So-
haven't followed this at all, so I have no idea. I have no idea why. I don't know who or anything. So, yeah, I can't confirm any of that. So honestly, I don't think we know.
Yeah, this is new info that happened right when we're streaming.
Yep. Next
So are we
one.
blaming Finn for this, or
Oh, Xylo111 fails. Xylo1111 fails. His question is, since Ranger's away, can we spam the questions with Eternal Twin questions? Fail, he's back.
I mean, technically, yeah, that's correct.
Just in the Force.
That was the whole reason for the technical delay, was to get Ranger back in. Okay, next one is Paul Morgan. Question: what team takes farming priority? Scoundrels, Bounty Hunter, or KOTOR? I feel Bounty Hunters are most useful, but we may need a jump on legendary events with other teams. It's an interesting question right now. And it's not just Scoundrels in particular, right? It's the solo characters that are more than likely going to be needed for something. So, I mean, I would personally say KOTOR because I think that leads to Malik, which is going to lead to Revan. I don't see it like a journey chain as it regards the other ones, but I can see one potentially with Malik using KOTOR characters and then needing Malik for Revan. So that's, I think, what I would work on, but what do you think?
I agree. I think, I mean, here's Bastila and Jolie into farmable places, as quick as possible. So it would be logical to think that that's going to be the one that they're planning on dropping on us, is something that requires those two.
Yeah. I mean, the only other
you
thing
agree?
is which ones came first, right? In which case, then, I think solo characters came before Bounty Hunters, except for Bosk, right? I think Bosk came first. Then it was solo characters, then a couple more Bounty Hunters, and then KOTOR. I think I have that order correct, right?
Yeah, but they dropped the Bastila and Jolie into shipments before all the others, which was strange.
It's an interesting one. I mean, I think KOTOR has the better long run perspective, but short term, in terms of what's probably coming first, it probably is a solo thing that's probably coming first, unless it is just a generic bounty hunter and not like the specific Clone War bounty hunters that you need for like a Django. What do you think, Ranger?
About what? I'm not here.
Scoundrels, solo tunes, bounty hunters, or KOTOR? Which one would you farm first, assuming that there's going to be an event?
God. I mean, problem is we're always speculating on who the characters are going to be. My first inclination is KOTOR, but really they're not really, other than Jolie and Bassel at the moment, they're not even in a free-to-play concept. They're still in the crystals. You could go bounty hunters, but then if we're going new bounty hunters, again, they're still over the free-to-play. I personally am farming all of the scoundrels right now from solo. Why? Because they're free-to-play. My goal is to get them all at least 5 stars. So in case it's just a legendary or something along those lines, at least whatever comes out, I can at least get 5 stars. But if KOTOR comes around the corner, which I don't think anything KOTOR related for them will be like December at the earliest. I think the next big one is going to be the solo tunes, and then I think there's going to be a bounty hunter legendary or a good flip. But I mean, just looking at the way the release cadence is solo. So if you're going to start farming, start with the solo characters. They're out there. They're free to play. They're in hard nodes, ships, stuff like that. I mean, I'm farming all of them, right? And I'm using crystals to get them all to 5 stars. That's my main goal. And then I'll just go back to a normal farming cadence. Same thing with Cote when it comes around. Since KOTOR characters come out, I'm going to be going straight into get them to 5 stars. I just don't know. There's too much stuff out there going on. But right now, the ones that you can get your hands on is the solo characters, because the bounty hunters with Embo and Order are behind paywalls. So unless you're going to invest in it, might as well wait. You know, if you get your other bounty hunters done, great. But if you're going to talk about farm, it just makes sense solo.
All right. Next question. Let me get this up here. Let's see if I can get this going here, because I brought up my game screen. Maybe it's that's lagging it. Okay, there we go. Now it's working again. Hurry up. There we go. All right. Turn that off. Okay. Next one is... Tech Jericho question: what's a ship's lineup I can run to beat hard node 5B? I don't have geos. I think 5B I just use my regular one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Chimera, Biggs, TIE Advanced, TIE Fighter Pilot, and then I went kind of tanky off the bench. So Slave 1, Umbaran, Sunfac, and Poe. I think that was my lineup when I beat it. Let me see what I have it at. Cause I think that one I 3-starred. Yeah, that one I 3-starred. Yeah, that would be the lineup that I go with. Oh no, that's normal. Hold on, let me go to hard. Yeah, I 3-starred it. Yep. So I think that would be the lineup. Next question is from Mateus Calvacanti. Question: can Bosk's ship make Mace viable? What do you think, Grim?
Without further testing, I can't really say much on it. It sounds cool on paper, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I think tanky
It's
lineup
possible
under endurance
with all
is
its
pretty
protection, with all the protection stacking, could do well. But I haven't had a chance to use them under Mace yet.
Yeah. I do like the perspective of using tank ships under endurance. It makes, because Mace is the endurance is a really tanky ship, or not a tanky, but it's designed more for tanky with recovery and defensive ships. I like its perspective in territory war defense. I've mentioned that before. I think it's pretty cool.
For the timeout team?
Yeah, just for a defensive territory war timeout type team. Alright, next one. Ranger, we'll throw this one at you because you're the First Order guy. How good is First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot, and then also his ship? How do you feel about these?
Both are good. Many people do use him in the First Order lineup because of his stuns and stuff like that. I personally don't use him in anything in lineup or in First Order. I just think First Order Officer is a better option because of the turn meter and things that he does, and you see most people doing that. But if you do go the route instead of First Order Officer, going with Special Forces or keeping an officer and going Special Forces for somebody else, you can do it. Some people replace Kylo with Special Forces Officer. Again, I don't like that, but it does work. So if you're going to go all in on Special Forces because you like the ship and stuff, the ship is really good. It's not great. It's decent, and it does work really well in a First Order lineup with the command shuttle and Kylo Ren ship. But that's a lot of investment. I would say stick with First Order Officer because really the way you're setting that up, I mean, you want to keep just sending turn meter to execution or letting him Gaston chopping. Yeah, the stun's nice. Maybe in territory wars you have a situation like that where you want maybe stuns and stuff, but for me, I usually leave it on defense, and I just let Officer and Mr. Kassan Chop go wreak havoc, and even on a bad day, I still get 2-3 wins on first order, and I've had as many as 10 on defense with that team. So, but it can be done. Depends. Maybe you don't have Kylo random master or officer ready, and you do have special forces. You can substitute those two for special forces.
All right. Next question from who? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He says, my wife is new to the game, level 53.
And it got quiet.
Can you hear me?
Awkward silence.
Oh, there we go. I was muted. Everyone on the stream could hear me.
God, you were just batting 1,000 today.
No, so the stream could hear me. You couldn't. The question is from who? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And the thing is, question, my wife is new to the game, level 53, and in a CG starter guild. When should she think about moving into a real guild?
ASAP. If I remember correctly, I think it was Dojison or JV, one of those guys said to contact people in Dana, got in there and said she can get her placed.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she realizes that she's serious about it, she should start looking for guilds. Because you can easily start finding stuff. And I'm sure by now, after playing this long, she understands the commitment that's needed in order to say, like, you're serious about playing the game. So, all right. Next question from Mr. Penny Pinch. Question for Finn. I got a green speed set mod with speed secondary. Why didn't the speed go up if it's the only secondary? A random stat went up that wasn't there in the beginning. I'm super confused. Okay, so this is because of the change that happened with mods 2.0. So previously, it used to be that it would level up existing stats first, and then it would add your other secondary stats. So for a green mod, it would level up your existing stat, followed by then adding your second secondary stat at level 6, your third at level 9, and then your fourth at level 12. What it does now instead is that it levels up, or it adds your secondary stat first, instead of adding it to your mod afterwards. And so the first thing it does at level 3 now is that it actually adds your second secondary stat. At level 6 it adds your third, at level 9 it adds your fourth, and then at level 12 it upgrades one of your 4 existing stats. So that's why all of a sudden you saw, like, okay, so I had these mods showing and you thought that it was going to level up, and then it didn't. And that's why the recommendation was made that you should just go ahead and level up your existing green, blue, and purple mods before the update if you had a secondary stat that you wanted, because your chance of getting the upgrade on those mods goes down if you wait until afterwards. So they've changed the way that mods level up, and that's why that happened to your mods.
Yeah, pretty much the way we knew mods before for leveling doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
Which sucks.
Yeah. All right, let's try to run through a few more questions because I have about 10 more minutes before I have a work meeting. Okay, Mr. Penny Pinch. Question, I don't read the forums, hence why I watch you guys. Why is it we don't have TB this week? There's still a lot of bugs with territory battles, and instead of just running another territory battle and having it with bugs, they were trying to see if they could correct it beforehand, and since they weren't, they basically just held off on territory battles. And then, assuming they don't roll it out like tomorrow or something and still think that there's enough time before territory wars, they'll give you the rewards based on your last Lights Out territory battle. So, that was it. Paul Morgan question, how do you 3-star hard 5D with Imperial ships? I don't know. I didn't run all Imperial ships, so... I don't think you did either, right, Ranger?
Say that again?
You didn't run all Imperial ships for your 5D hard node, right? Because I know you were streaming that when you were trying to get it done.
Then you can go back to the lunch stream. What was it, Friday we did that? You can go see what ships I ran for that. People already had success that they put comments that it worked out for them really well. So if you want to go back to the lunch stream on Friday, I believe, where we were looking at 5D, that's Memphis, right? You can go back in. I actually did 5E too because I made a boo-boo, but go past when I did 5E and 3-starred it and go back into 5D and watch how I 3-starred that as well. I had beaten it, but I hadn't 3-starred it. So I was very specific, and we laid out how the strategy was to use it and what ships. So
Right.
it wasn't geos, so it should allow you to be able to use the ships you have to do it if you have those ships. I mean, it's all dependent on what you have. I mean, I can't help you with that, but if you have the ships are generally the same ships, you kind of miss a little bit with the lineup and stuff for the reinforcements. But yeah, that's what I went with.
Nathaniel Morgan, I'm not going to 3-star all my battles because I don't really give a crap. I'm not going to go do battles I don't need.
Yeah.
I haven't finished all my light side and dark side. I've just been lazy. I'm like, why do I need to get 381 out of 381? It doesn't give me anything. Okay. Next question is from Hermit Fulgrim. And his question, I have 3 5-dot avoidance arrows with 16 or 17 speed secondaries on them. Where should I put them? My Sith Trooper isn't even unlocked. So, the character I like it on, personally, is Scion. And you can actually do it for all of the characters under Traya, because Traya gives crit avoidance with her lead. So with her lead, all Sith have 40% crit avoidance. And then if you stick it on Nihilus, Scion, and Traya, you make it so that it becomes very difficult to kill them. And so I have it on my... Where's my Scion? There's my Scion. So I have a crit avoidance arrow on my Scion that has 14 speed, because that's my best one, and I'm trying to get a better one all the time. This is one of the mods that I'm chasing. So that's what I'm looking at. It's basically the crit avoidance from the arrow, which gives 24%. Add that to the 40% you get under a Traya, and now you have like 64% crit avoidance. And so it becomes very hard to kill the tankier characters. And Nihilus is considered one of those, because Nihilus gains all this health, and if you reduce how much damage he takes, like, it keeps him alive longer. And Traya is one of your weaker characters, so you're trying to keep her alive, because once she dies, it kind of changes the complexion of your team. And if you can get a good speed secondary on her, then you can do that as well. But again, it depends on what the level of the mod is and how good your other mods are, because you don't want them to be too slow as a result of switching to that.
I had a quick question about that. Wouldn't you want Nihilus getting critically hit in that one? Because if Nihilus gets crit, Traya and Scion get bonus effects. Remember?
You can, but again, it depends on what you're focusing on. In general, I would say you can if you want Traya to get powered up more. But I found, since I've been using her, I found that the biggest thing is really just the survival of Nihilus ends up being key. Like, if you can kill Nihilus with just regular damage and not having to need an annihilate, like, that team tends to dominate a lot more. So if I can kill Nihilus without anything, he's super easy. If I have to use an annihilate, it makes the battle a little bit more difficult. So I like the survival aspect of Nihilus potentially. Plus, the chance on being crit is already reduced with Treya's lead, right? Because it's already 40% reduction. So you're already at the point where it's like, okay, even if they have crit chance, he's not going to get crit a whole lot. So it works better under Emperor Palpatine lead without that. So just depends on which team composition you're using. All right. Next question is from JG Hot 1. Grim, I'll let you take this one question. What character should I be farming to prepare for upcoming legendary events?
Which character or characters?
Characters with an S.
I don't know. I think I'll agree with what you guys said previously. Since all the solo tunes have become relatively farmable, it more than likely that could be the next one that's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then possibly a Jedi or a Clone Wars character after that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And free-to-plays, remember to keep something in mind. Legendaries are 5-star unlocks. So, for example, L3 and Kira are both Cantina. You don't want to necessarily take both of them to 7-star. Get them all to 5-star first, so you can at least get the unlock of the legendary when it shows up the first time, even if you don't get a 7-star. Because the worst thing would be if you have one 7-star and like one 4-star, and then you don't even get the unlock. So try to go at least for the unlock and try to get your characters to 5-star minimally for all of those.
Science.
Yes. RSG Vormax, do you guys know why Going Nerdy was removed from Game Changers? No. I only heard about it from you guys this morning. I haven't had a time to follow all that, so I'll have to check. Contingent 33 question, are Bastila and Enfys good enough to get off target with Zetas, or do I stay with Night Sisters? I only have Asaja's 2 Zetas. Asaja's 2 Zetas are really all you need. You can do Mother Talzin's unique. It's a really good Zeta. The other question is, what are you Zetaing Bastila and Emphys for? Are you doing it for Arena and improving in Arena? The answer is yes. Zeta them. Especially Emphys, because if you're using Emphys in Arena, you really need her Zeta so she doesn't attack taunted targets. Bastila, if you want to run Jedi, it depends on your server. Bastila is a really good Zeta as well. I have both of them, just so you know, but I also have my Night Sisters. But again, the critical point would be to do the Arena aspect first, because you already have Asaja's 2 Zetas, so you have your Phase 4 Sith Raid kind of covered. Oh, and almost as if I didn't even see this question, so it works out perfectly. Ski Trooper Califragilistic SB Porg Plush. I tried to throw me off. Okay. Question: do you think it's safe to farm only 5 of the 6 solo tunes, similar to Phoenix? I'm already farming L3 and Lando for ships, tempted to leave off Young Han or Vandor Chewie. Young Han is easy because he's Guild Store.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely work. If you want to leave out Vandor Chewie, he's a hard node, and so I always farm him. But I mean, if you want to leave him off, I'm okay with that. But you're overlapping a lot of the solo tunes, right? So you have Kira, you have Kira and L3 in Cantina. So I'm hoping you already have Kira done. You have Lando and ships, which is like its own resource that doesn't contribute to the 600. So a lot of people aren't refreshing that in order to like really get a lot of like bang for their buck. Like you can do the 5 attempts, but you can't necessarily refresh in order to speed them up, and that keeps your hard nodes kind of low. Young Han is super easy, and Vandor Chewie is the same thing as Lando, right? It's a single hard node, but energy contributes to your 600, so if you have crystals, it's worth it to refresh his node, and I refresh his node every day, so. I think you're safe on farming only 5 of the 6. I just don't think one of those 5 should necessarily leave off Young Han in particular, because he's an easy farm.
Well, going back on what you said earlier, if you can manage to get them to 5 stars, switch to another one, get those, just in case it ends up being the one that you didn't farm.
Yeah. Andrew Kopta, thanks for doing lunch hour for us in the Central Time Zone. Well, that was my intention all along. Okay.
I know, I'm starving.
I know, we're almost done here. We'll do like 2 more questions, because then I got to start heading to a meeting.
Okay.
Question, what else? 73. Question, just to be sure, I'll have my next Zeta this week, and I plan to use it on Asajj. Is hers better compared to Mother Talzin, correct? If you're talking about the uniques, yes. Right? Do you all agree?
Yes.
Ranger, you agree? Asajj's Zeta unique is better than Mother Talzin's Zeta unique?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And last one, Nathaniel Morgan. Question, what gear does Pow have to be not to get wrecked? Is it worth it to gear him to that level, or just keep resetting whenever they kill Pow? Gear 8 is the minimum, and it does require some RNG that your Pow isn't getting targeted. The lower gear he is, the lower his offense is as well, which means that he's contributing a little bit less to Han. Just depends how much you want to focus on the Chex Mix team. But gear 8 minimum. Anything else on that, Grim? Have you tried Pow at different levels?
I still need to gear him up. I'm about to 7-star him in the next couple of days. So, yeah.
What gear is yours?
Like, gear 4 or 5.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I haven't really been working on him very much, because, like, I've been focusing on my arena team, finishing my arena team.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we got all of the questions, I think, up until we had the technical issue. So I apologize for that. My computer force restarted on me, and then I had to wait for it to load. I was talking to Grim and Dana the entire time. I'm like, it says 100% complete, and then all of a sudden it went 15% complete. I'm like, damn, I have to wait for it to do it all over again. So sorry about the delay. For those of you guys that are here live, I don't think you really notice it on the recorded one. But with that is the RSG Lunch Hour. Thank you guys for joining us. We do it at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday through Fridays on weekdays. And for reference, next Monday is a U.S. holiday, so we won't be doing it next Monday. But the rest of this week we will be. If you guys want a roster review, message me, Finity, on the RSG Discord. The link is in the YouTube description. And just send me your GG page and wait for me to send you a message confirming that you have been added to the queue. And we go through the queue. We do at least one roster review every day on the lunch stream, assuming we have that many. And we do have a queue that's about 2 or 3 weeks right now. And we'll talk to you before that, and we'll get you through it. That being said, Wednesday night will be our regular weekly Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live stream, where we go through the news and notes of the communities from the past week, and we try to bring you up to date with everything going on, which apparently includes a game changer not being part of the program. So we'll probably look at that as well. And yeah. Saturday morning, if you guys have questions, and you guys had a lot of questions today, make sure you join us on Jedi Academy at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we have a pure question and answer stream with a great panel of YouTubers that include Warrior, T-Money, and the newest edition, Miss Jedi Master Adastra. And get your questions answered by the team, and you'll be able to get all of that settled, and you guys can get your questions answered in more time than you have probably on these lunch streams. So with that, if you guys want to support us, the links are in the description below for the Patreon, the PayPal, and if you guys want to be sponsors or members, if you guys are members, we do have a pre-stream that we do to our Wednesday night stream that all VIPs get access to, and only the YouTube members or sponsors get access to talk to us with. So if you guys want to be sponsors, there is that available to you. And with that, it is now 2 p.m. and I have to rush to a meeting. So thank you all for watching. Apologies for the technical delays, and we will catch you tomorrow.
See ya.